Hey friends, coming at you with a heavy heart this week. I am not often without words, don't really struggle to find them because I always have words. In fact, I remember in elementary school getting in trouble for talking all the time. But now is a hard time to have the right words, and it's a season in our country this week with just such heaviness and hard. And it just breaks my heart. It breaks my heart that there's still racism today. It breaks my heart that anyone would feel marginalized or have to walk through hard based on the color of their skin or their culture or their way of life. And it's so hard. And I imagine that as it breaks our hearts, I can't imagine how much more it breaks the heart of God. And I don't have good answers or the right things to say necessarily, but I remember, and I say, one of my favorite things about traveling around the world is getting to know people that are different and think different and have different experiences, different walks of life. I lived in a country where I learned a different language, and they were so gracious with me as I made all kinds of mistakes in trying to learn their language. And I don't have all the right words to have the right language to lament with those who are struggling right now because of the effects of racism. I just don't have the right words. But here is what I do know is I can pray and we can listen, lean in and listen well and be quiet more than I talk. And so today I just wanted to read this prayer from Every Moment Holy. It's a book of fun prayers, liturgies. I mean, there's prayers in here for everything from your first bonfire of the season to your first cup of morning coffee. But on page 157 of this book is a liturgy that I want to read over as a prayer right now. In a world so wired and interconnected, our anxious hearts are pummeled by an endless barrage of troubling news. We are daily aware of more grief, O Lord, than we rightly consider, of more suffering and scandal than we can respond to, of more hostility, hatred, horror, and injustice than we can engage with compassion. But you, O Jesus, are not disquieted by such news of cruelty and terror and war. You are neither anxious nor overwhelmed. You carried the full weight of the suffering of a broken world when you hung upon the cross, and you carry it still. When the cacophony, I don't know how to say that word, of universal distress unsettled us, remind us that we are but small and finite creatures, never designed to carry the vast abstractions of great burdens, for our arms are too short and our strength is too small. Justice and mercy, healing and redemption are your great labors. And yes, it is your good pleasure to accomplish such works through your people, but you have never asked any of us to undertake more than your grace will enable us to fulfill. Guard us from shutting down our empathy or walling off our hearts because of the glut of unactionable misery that floods our awareness. You have many children in many places around this globe. Move each of our hearts to compassionately respond to those needs that intersect our actual lives, that in all places your body may be actively addressing the pain and brokenness of this world, each of us liberated and empowered by your Spirit to fulfill the small part of your redemptive work assigned to us. Give us discernment in the face of troubling news reports. Give us discernment to know when to pray, when to speak out, when to act, and when to simply shut off our screens, our devices, and to sit quietly in your presence, casting the burden of this world upon the strong shoulders of the one who alone is able to bear them up. Again, that is a prayer from this book, Every Moment Holy, and it just summed up how I was feeling and wanted to pray myself. And I want to lean in, listen well, and love. And I just encourage you in the middle of this heavy to do the same. Lean in, grab a friend who's different than you, and listen well.